Hello and welcome to a Minecraft Snapshot update video. So, today, 16 week 20A came out, and there is a lot to talk about, so let's get stuck right into it. So first we've got some new mobs. We've got the polar bear. Now, let's spawn one out here so we could take a good look at him. Now these guys spawn in cold biomes, naturally. There is also a baby variant, as you can see there. And these guys are aggressive. At least the adults are at the moment. From what I could tell, the adults will attack you on sight, and they hit hard. So they will be something you gotta watch out for. So I've got a bunch of polar bears in here. Let's take a look at what they drop. So, looks to me like we've got raw fish, raw salmon. Now, a couple of hostile mobs have been added. You have a zombie variant called a husk, which can be found in deserts. Now, an interesting thing about these is he's standing right under the sun and he's not taking any damage. These guys do not take any damage from being out in the sun. Now, being a zombie variant, these guys drop the exact same things as zombies from what I can tell. Just, your rotted flesh and potentially the occasional rarer drop like potatoes and iron bars, but I have not seen those yet. Oh. I take that back about the potatoes there. I see a potato right there. So these guys do drop pretty much the exact same thing as normal zombies. Next we have the Stray, which is a skeleton variant, which, as you can see, he takes damage from sunlight. Now, I don't know that there's been any information out about where these guys spawn, or if they just occasionally replace a normal skeleton spawn. Not sure yet, but it would appear that they drop all the exact same things as normal skeletons when they die, but I do believe that they hit pretty hard, so another mob to watch out for. Next, let's talk about some of the new block types. So we've got this guy right here, which is a bone block. Got a nice texture, another white block with a little bit more texture going on there than the quartz block has. And this place is just like logs. As you can see, it's got sort of a bone marrow type texture in the middle, which, depending on how you place it, changes the orientation just like a log. Next, we have the red nether brick. Looks like the exact same texture as a normal nether brick, just a different color. Next, we have the nether wart block. This texture looks pretty interesting. Looks like a whole bunch of nether wart mashed together, which is pretty much what you'd expect from this kind of block. And finally, the magma block. Now, all of these blocks are nether blocks, and this one is interesting because it emits light, and it deals damage when you stand on it. I'll go into survival mode here real quick. And as you can see, I'm taking damage. I would imagine that this damage scales with difficulty. Yeah, it looks like I'm taking significantly more damage at the higher difficulty, so similar to lava in that regard. Now, one thing to note, that even though this block does give off light, mobs can spawn on it and will take damage, so I'm sure there will be a ton of... See, there is infighting over there. And lots of particle effects. Oh, they started attacking when I went into survival mode. What is up with all these particles? Shoot me, I want to know what effect you've got. Shoot me! See, now I want to know. Slowness. Oh, okay. So, while very distracting, at least we learned something. They shoot arrows that will give you slowness. I'll be. get in creative mode. So before I was distracted by the insanity happening over there, we were talking about uses for the magma block here. This block, since it gives off light but also allows mobs to spawn on it, and they will take damage from it, it makes a perfect block to use as the floor in a mob farm. You just run some mine carts underneath it to pick it all the drops up, and you're good to go. Now let's look at some crafting recipes for these. So the bone block, you would imagine, is a 3x3 grid of bones, but it's actually a grid of bone meal. Gets you the bone block. The nether wart block is exactly what you'd expect, just the 3x3 grid of nether wart, and there you go. The red nether brick uses a recipe with, you got your nether bricks going like that, and your nether wart going like that, and you get red nether brick. The way you get the magma block is you go to the nether and you mine this puppy up. It looks like it spawns pretty plentifully in the nether, so shouldn't be too hard to get it. I do believe that it also is mineable with a wooden pickaxe, so you're not going to have to wait for diamonds on this one. So if we go into the nether, there's the portal there. As you can see, down by the lava, there's lots of magma blocks there and there and there. So plenty of magma blocks to get you going on your mob farms or whatever other uses you might have for the block. Another change being made to the nether is that occasionally endermen can go into the nether and invade it. So next time you're in the nether in the newest 1.10 release, be sure to keep an eye out for those endermen, because they'll sneak up on you and they'll get you. Now, another change that has been made is the inclusion of auto jump, which I believe is a pocket edition feature, where I'm just walking straight towards these blocks and I'm jumping all on my own. I'm not having to press any buttons and this guy's jumping. So this feature is toggleable if you go to Options, Controls, Auto Jump on or off. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off because it's a little bit disorienting since I'm not used to it. But if that's more your thing, that option is now available in the PC version of the game. Now, the reason we're in the Mesa biome here is some changes have been made to the Mesa biome. So if we go underground here and take a look, mine shafts have been changed, and they were kind of vague on what the change was, that there's something shiny down here. And one thing that I've noticed is in the Mesa biomes, there is a ton of exposed gold ore. Like, there's gold there, there's some there. Oh look, more gold. So it looks like, from what I can tell, they've increased the amount of gold that spawns. I mean, look, there's some more gold. So, if you're looking for gold, a mine shaft in a Mesa biome is not a bad idea. Another new feature of Mesa biome mine shafts is that they're supposed to connect directly to the surface. You're supposed to be able to just look in the side of a hill and find entrances to these mine shafts. Now, in this particular world that I've got here, I'm not seeing that, so it may not be fully implemented yet, or maybe this seed that I'm using just doesn't have that feature. One last thing that I want to mention about the Mesa biomes, and I don't know if this has been applied to any of the other biomes, but flying around these mine shafts in spectator mode, trying to see what's up in them, I noticed something. You've got this. Now, it might be kind of hard to tell since the way it renders the blocks in spectator mode, but those are bone blocks, and this looks exactly like a rib cage. So they say they added a feature that they're not calling fossils, but you could call fossils. So it looks like there is naturally generating bone block structures made to look like large animals have died here. Now, I don't know if, like I said, if this is just in this biome or if it's all biomes or just some, but be on the lookout for bone blocks as you dig around. Now, the last feature that has been added that I really want to talk about for this snapshot is the structure block. Now, this block was actually added in 1.9, but it was for dev use only. You could get the block, I believe, but you couldn't do anything with it. Well, they fully implemented it for map makers, which has me really excited for what this could mean. Now there's multiple modes on this block. You've got the data mode, you got the save mode, load mode, corner mode. Now I haven't really dug into exactly how these blocks work, but I do know that they were used by Mojang in 1.9 to create the end structures, the new end ships and end cities, and also the igloos. So I know that you can create structures, save them, load them at will using this block, and it could be kind of interesting because supposedly this block, loading structures, is supposed to work much faster and easier than using the clone command in command blocks. So the implications for map makers like me is really interesting, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how this works. Now another structure that you can get using commands, structure block and structure void. I don't know what this does. It's just a little invisible partial block. You can walk through it, but it's called structure void. No idea what it does. Hopefully we find out soon. Alright, so today has been the snapshot of distractions for me. Every little thing is distracting me from trying to record the singular thing I'm looking at, but I've noticed one other thing that I want to mention. These floating sand blocks have particles coming off the bottom. I have never seen that before. I don't know if that's new. Couldn't find any information on it. But it caught my eye, and so I wanted to know more. I ran over here to see if there was any over here of the normal sand, and they do the exact same thing. Now, for comparison, I loaded this exact same seed in 1.9, and there were no floating sand blocks. All of these sand blocks that have nothing below them were generated as sandstone or red sandstone over there, so I couldn't find any to test it on. So what I'm going to do, because my curiosity knows no bounds, I'm going to load up MCEdit and make a 1.9 floating sand block and see what happens. Alright, so as you can see, where those floating sand blocks were in the new snapshot, they're sandstone. If we go over here, all completely sandstone. I can't find a single floating block. All sandstone. So, with the power of MCEdit, I have added some sand. And I don't see any particles. So, I have no idea what's going on there. Like I said, I don't know if this is new or what the deal is, but if you have any idea what's going on, be sure to leave a comment, because I would love to know if that's a new thing or not, or if this strange generation difference between 1.9.4 and the newest snapshot is intentional, accidental. Any idea, let me know. I'm curious. I have an inquiring mind. But anyways, that's all I've got for today's snapshot video. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like. If you really liked it, make sure to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.